Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you are having an amazing day today. With that being said, let's get into this crazy situation with Tory Lanez getting poked up 14 times. Yes, if you haven't heard, Tory Lanez on May 12th was stabbed a total of 14 times, taking critical injuries to the back, torso, head, and face. This all took place around 7:20 p.m. at the California Correctional Institution located in Tehachapi. Tory, while serving out his 10-year sentence for assault with a semi-automatic firearm, possession of a concealed unregistered firearm, and negligent discharge of a firearm, of course stemming from the shooting of rapper Megan Thee Stallion, was attacked by 42-year-old Santino Casillo. This left rapper Tory Lanez in a critical condition with 2 lungs collapsed, and he had to be airlifted out to be brought to a proper hospital to be treated. I'ma say this straight up, that this guy was definitely trying to kill Tory, and he almost succeeded. But I'll get back to Santino because he's an interesting case. Trust me, I'll get back to that. Right now, though, I want to focus on Tory Lanez, and I'll start by saying that I've always personally felt indifferent about his conviction. Like, if you were really following the case all the way through, there's a good amount of reasonable doubt on both parties. All that to say that I'm neither for or against this attack, all right? I'm not chanting either way or the other. I don't think Tory deserves to die, but I also understand that he's in prison for a reason, and in prison, you gotta take what comes to you and try to survive. As it stands, it's looking like Tory Lanez will survive and make a recovery, as his team has stated so. I can imagine when he's ready, he will drop a song or a project speaking about how he feels about the situation, but that's just me speculating. It would be like a first day out kind of deal, but instead of the first day out of jail, it'd be like the first day out of hospital kind of thing. Now, although some may be joyful about Tory's recent incident, I don't think we should see the attacker as a hero, even if you think Tory is the villain. That's because this dude is an actual menace to society and makes Tory Lanez look like an angel. Santino Casillo is a man with a dark, violent history. On June 8th, 2002, Santino was heard arguing with his then girlfriend when minutes later, she was shot in the face with a shotgun. Santino would go on the run for 2 weeks before being arrested. His own family would testify against him in court how they heard the argument followed by a blast. A coroner would testify the barrel must have been 4 inches from her face before it went off. You might be thinking to yourself that this man is straight up evil, and you would definitely be right. But just to really throw you for a loop, the girl was only 13 and Santino was 20 years old at the time. Truly despicable shit right there. An interview from the day he was arrested would be played at trial, where Santino admitted to having a relationship with a 13-year-old girl for a month before the shooting. The girl was a runaway, while Santino was on parole from the California Youth Authority for burglary. In 2004, Santino would be sentenced to life in prison for murdering 13-year-old Evelyn Candejas and 2 separate attempted murders from 2 different stabbings. While in prison, he'd be sentenced to an additional 6 years for a prison stabbing on another inmate, and in 2018, he was sentenced to another 2 years for possessing a knife in prison. Santino Casillo is as dangerous as they come, but his conviction for murdering a 13-year-old he was dating is what makes him a true villain. So before we go jumping up and down thinking Tory was served what he was deserved and was taken down by some noble woman-protecting inmate, let's just acknowledge reality as well. As it stands, there's no official motive for the attack. But as usual, hip-hop fans across the web has come up with their own theories as to why an attempt on Tory's life was made. But also, as usual, most of them are pretty damn silly. The only possibility I personally believe is a clip of someone saying that the reason why Santino attacked Tory Lanez is because during visitations or something like that, Tory would stare and or say disrespectful comments about Santino's wife.
The suspect that stabbed Tory Lanez, right, in Tehachapi State Prison. And I already explained why he stabbed Tory Lanez, for disrespecting his wife at visit, saying a couple, derogatory words on a tier about his wife. And the man took initiative to defend his wife and stab another inmate. That's why I said it's not really going to be a racial war. And if it does happen, so be it. That's in prison. But I always said it was personal.
Now, obviously, that's just speculation, though, because like I said, as it stands, there's no official motive. I just think the theory would make a bit more sense than Rock Nation hiring Santino to take out Tory Lanez, or Santino taking a stand for women by stabbing Tory Lanez. Overall, Tory Lanez's downfall should be studied as a case study for what not to do as a rapper. I mean, how do you go from this?
Damn, I ain't been broke in a minute. Don't get it fitted. Toe off the bow in a Bentley. Fucking your hoe in the kidney.
To this in a relatively short amount of his lifetime. It truly sucks because Tory Lanez was genuinely so talented and had a bright future ahead of him. And now he has to go back to the same hellhole where he was almost killed to serve out the rest of his 10-year sentence. I just hope he's lucky enough to finish his sentence, man. But anyways, if you watched the video all the way to the end, thank you so much, as it truly means the world to me. Let me know if you want me to do a video on anything specific. But as always, until next time, goodbye.